we do utilize it, but like you said, it might be worth just purchasing.
Just buying it, yeah. Okay. Not your job to look at.
Just as a cautionary note, I dealt with copy machines from another district of mine, and those contracts are just horrible.
Yeah.
Number one.
Really?
Yeah, typically. And so typically they'll be signed with no one really reading them. And there's all these notice provisions if you want to terminate earlier, penalty. So we had a fight for about a year and a half over 2 copy machines. And because they were costing more than the new ones were available for. So we finally got one where they own it now, and they sold it at auction. And the other one, I think the copy machine or the agency to whom they assigned the contract got tired of all the nasty grams I was sending. And just said, give us $200 and we'll terminate everything. You know,
Kyle, see if we can find
they came down by 13,000 to 4,000 plus 200.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Yeah, so and again, those contracts are not typically the customer-friendly version. They're usually pretty.
Well, if we can find it, you can look through it.
If it's Milner or DLL, just put your flags up. Okay.
Okay. Surrender.
No, red flag.
Red flag, okay.
And then a flag to charge them with.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything on the,
Page 15, Kyle, just your margins are super low on the stuff that you sell in the pro shops. Just keep an eye on that, I would say.
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's, a lot of that was from the past, right?
No, I know. But it's like to the point when you take into account staff and other things, you'd probably be better off just like taking whatever you make in the golf course and like putting it in a fund.
Yeah.
It's gonna do better for you than.
We just went through, and we have the audit on September 30th, right?
Yeah.
We just went through and determined the actual cost of all the goods, and it was not what was currently in the system.
Yeah.
okay, so you've done major adjustments to that?
So there's been
Including freight.
major adjustments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Freight, there's all sorts of stuff that just was never factored into these things.
Part-time right now.
So
We built it in though. the freight.
yeah, we've got everything in there now, correct?
Okay.
So your margins have probably shrunk drastically.
Right, but they will get better once we're...
Yeah, the new system, the new pricing plan we're going to, with the way we've ordered, everything's keystoned. We're gonna, I've worked the meetings with Tyler, maintaining margins, we've had these discussions.
Okay, now she'll be here for the audit when...
Yeah, she'll be performing the actual count.
And I will say again that in speaking with Jeff Pinder, he is thrilled.
Yeah.
That we are to the point where we are. I mean, he's our true bean counter.
It's been a tangled mess.
It has been a tangled mess. There's been, like I said, if you look at the labor costs in August, like, okay, why is that through the roof? Well, hey, we were really wet all August. We didn't close. We stayed open. Car path only was the worst thing, and I kept people working, and it was mostly on this, to be honest with you. We spent a tremendous amount of energy going through that inventory system and the T-sheet and just cleaning it out.
Well, I saw Tyler and Sloan there going through each little golf ball.
Man, yeah, it's
So.
well, that's
Counting the tricks.
hey, listen, there was a lot of things that should have been done that maybe not had, and we're on it though. But that's why you saw your margins just absolutely dissipate. It's because they just weren't. None of it prior to was real. They weren't real numbers. So.
Okay. All right.
I think you've mentioned this, Kyle, before, streamlining what we have in there.
Yeah.
What do we really want to try to sell?
Yeah.
Right.
Of course you're going to have balls. You're going to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but like, we had...
You need to have multiple men's shorts and stuff. Now, you might, if a guy shows up in car.
No, well, that's the thing, man. We're a public golf course. Nobody is coming to our golf course buying shorts. There's no point in having them. It just sits in there because you can't stock enough to get sizes. Like, so I got 10 grand of shorts in there, and like at this point, I'm selling them at loss. And I'm never ordering them again. I would never have ordered them in the first place.
Well, the thing was too, there's some Callaway shirts in there now that are $55, not $90.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing too. The new stuff we got coming in, I make sure everything is keystoned up to $60. So like, I'm not
our clientele.
Yeah. We did a whole analysis and surveys on this. I'm feeling good moving forward with that. It's just it's this first year is going to look awful. I'm sure you're going to take another write-off on your inventory. I believe last year was $174,000. It's going to be significantly smaller this year, and then it won't be a problem ever again. And that's something I can promise you.
Okay. Oh, did it,
Page 17, irrigation water, Chuck, is up 62,000 versus last year.
That's usage in the golf course.
How is that calculated?
Is essentially the totalizer meter coming out of the pump house minus that has been billed to the residents, minus a line loss factor, and then the remainder of that is assumed to be golf course.
So if we have a big leak or something, it's gonna hit us.
Yeah. Unless we can find that the leak was over in Port Rush like it was that
I mean,
time.
if you've got something significant, we
We
can
can-
make a guess adjustment in there.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's like,
Remember,
that's up a lot.
This is the $5,000 a month that Chuck says has been in there every month, but I don't, like last year, I'm gonna go back, I got all the
This is
financials.
actual usage is what he's referring to.
This is usage, but the reason it's 60,000 over is because of the $5,000 that wasn't budgeted in there for it. You see what I mean? Like usually, typically, I'm under budget on irrigation. We had a couple years ago, like, we realized that the DRC count wasn't quite right for the golf course.
Right.
And that lowered our cost because just the water usage, just for the usage, we were exceeding right around 100 grand.
Chuck, I'll take this offline, but like, I just want to understand that better. I mean, it's up more than double versus last year. Something doesn't
Yeah,
feel right.
as he indicated, I think it fell out of their budget. The assessment fell out of their budget. It's 59,000 and change, as you can see at the top of the
So it
irrigation.
fell out of the HOA's budget into our budget?
No.
no, it fell out of our budget
Out of
last
our
year.
budget.
On the golf course budget. They had it as an expense for years. We continued to take 1/12 of it every month, and they didn't have it programmed into their budget.
But we have it in for next year.
No. That's why I've been, all year
I don't have
long,
anything to do with their budget.
Okay.
No, but like, regardless of the budget, the fiscal year actual amount charged was 55,000 year to date. We're at 116, almost 117.
Right, but if you take the $5,000 a month that we're being assessed, like you are the $75 or $79
Yeah,
on your tax bill.
if you go to page 9,
If you go back to the top of page 9.
that's your irrigation fund, and you'll
Direct
see we have a
bill
revenue
golf
source there, direct bill golf course, that's their assessment. So as all residents pay as a part of their property tax bill, part of your assessment number includes an assessment to the golf course, and that's the line above that.
Okay.
That below is a direct bill to the golf course, which is why we do 1/12 of it each month.
And we didn't budget for that.
And they don't have the offsetting expense budgeted into their budget. So
Can we
at some
adjust
point
the
over the
budget?
years, it must have fallen out of there.
Yeah.
But again, I don't have anything to do with that budget.
Oh, sure. Throw us under the bus.
That's been a Jeff and
Okay, so
John, so
we need to look at that for next year, and can we
get
adjust
the
this?
program back in.
I mean, we could adjust it this year, you could say, make an amendment and just
Yeah.
put that fixed cost in there.
You can, I mean, because that's a business fund over there. It's not really based upon the assessments. It's based on revenue on golf rounds.
Okay,
So you can make that adjustment. It's just
We
going to
should.
decrease any profit
The
margin.
assessment's already going to be there.
right.
Yeah, it's coming. We know it's coming.
Yeah.
We
So
know
I
it's
think we
coming
need to make
based on
adjustments.
those numbers
It's
on
the
the irrigation
same
fund.
amount, so you get it into your budget as an expense item,
Okay,
and we can bring that on as a budget amendment.
yeah, let's do that for next
At
meeting.
your October meeting, we're off and
Yeah.
running, so.
Okay. Very good.
Bridges, we've got, what, 396, I think the total's gonna come to 550. And I know that.
Concrete work.
Yeah, with the concrete work, that was, I think, approved for accounts payable.
Yep.
How are we gonna depreciate that, the bridge?
Like 15 to 20. I mean, you get 25 out of the first go-around.
Yeah.
These are theoretically going to last longer because they're not timber.
John, that payroll number on 17, that's the opposite.
That's the opposite, yes, sir.
That's all I got.
Anybody else have anything with the budgets or the financials, I mean?
I don't know, you're good job.
Pardon me?
Yeah, did a good job.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the financials.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let's go to the minutes. Oh, Mark, did I miss you? Oh, no, you're after the minutes. Sorry, okay.
I think we probably need to move Mark up on the agenda.
I think we do, yes. He doesn't need to listen to all
Sitting here
this.
thinking of all the things he could have been getting done this morning.
Okay.
Right. Actually, I apologize about that a while ago. I was like, I wonder why he's-
Why is he here?
I'm sorry.
All right, wait, let's go through the minutes rather quickly. I don't have anything on the second page on line 64, it's VOE, Village of Estero, not VEO.
And Madam Chair, on line 49, I think it's Willems, W-I-L-L-E-M-S,
Yes,
and there might be some other spots
yes,
also, so it'd be a global search.
okay.
I keep calling Willems, so. Willems. There you go.
4?
Page 4?
Yeah, 4, line 134. Adam, did you ask? I think you asked that, not me.
I did.
Yeah, so it's Mr. Dalton,
134, Mr. Brady should be Mr. Dalton.
Dalton.
Madam Chair, can we go back to page 3 for a minute?
Sure.
2 items. On line 90, I think turnover is 2 words.
Okay.
Is required to turn over. It's called a turnover as a noun, but required to turn over, so like.
That's like an
Apple turnover.
And at 101, I think carports is 1 word.
Yes.
That's all, thank you.
Page,
On page 4, also lines 130, 131, is it Kevin Carter or Kevin Carver? Quotes.
John
The Seawalls?
Carver, K-A-R-V.
Kevin Carver, yeah, it's the gentleman that gives us the quote.
Okay, just want to make sure that it was the right spelling of his name. Okay, thank you.
I think I have on 5, I think it's Ms. Leon. 168, sorry.
Yes, it's Miss Lee, Miss MS, not Mr.
And on
You may
page,
need to ask permission, right? Appropriate pronoun.
Yeah, appropriate pronouns, let's do it right.
Tyler L.
I think on line, page 5 again, line 161, John, is Franco's with a K or a C for Franco?
C.
And Ryan's last name on line 165. Unless that's his cousin.
On line 168, it's Mrs. Leo, or this Leo.
Miss Leo, right.
And there are some other Schultes throughout, John.
Yeah, I'm just noticing Schulte throughout is spelled incorrectly. It says C-H-U.
LT. Okay. I didn't have anything on 6 or 7. Guys, jump in.
Yeah, I'm good.
I didn't have anything. Okay, can I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Tony, all right. Mark, why don't you come up? Tony, you're here anyway.
Yeah, because I have an item that will involve
Okay.
Lisa and Adam also, so it'll be a
Okay.
while. I'm not sure Mark wants to listen to it.
No, I think he's done.
Unless Mark's doing HVAC engineering.
No, not today.
All right, good morning, Mark Zorden with Johnson Engineering for the record. I handed out, everybody has a paper copy of the plans for the driveway realignment, the drainage repair by the golf cart path, and then a valley gutter repair on Bellhaven. I know you probably haven't had a chance to review it, so I would say that if anybody has any questions, look it over the next couple of days. And Chuck, how do you want any questions run through you to me, or can they email me directly? How do you want to handle that, if the board had any questions? Okay.
Yeah. Mark, I've got a question.
Okay.
The entrance into and out of the club as proposed here, I see the exit, you've got 2 lanes, but like, is it going to be wide enough for like trucks to get in to make deliveries and
Yeah,
trash trucks and stuff like that, 14 feet wide, that's going to be sufficient?
that'll be plenty wide for any trucks to get in there. What I would point out of what we're thinking and of a concern, obviously, is the maintenance during the construction, maintenance of traffic to get in and out to Duffy's and the golf facility. So we're going to have a conversation with Alex about how he intends to do that. And then what we talked about with the engineering group is probably doing the actual paving at night when it comes to, so that's probably the biggest challenge to this whole thing is the traffic maintenance in and out.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask is, could they do the project at night?
I can have that discussion with them.
Not just the paving? Just
Yeah.
if possible. I know that would still affect Duffy's, but I guess I think they close. I don't know.
But still, I mean, we would, if we do it at night, we would still have to have, I don't know what time they would start, but we would still have to have some type of traffic control there.
Yeah, so,
But I think it would be easier at night.
okay, I'll have that discussion with them. You'll see with these plans, obviously, there's no cover sheet or your details or anything. I omitted that. I didn't feel the need to load you with paper. And also, I intentionally had them, our CAD tech had asked me, do you want the aerial survey on the plan sheet? And I had them break it apart as two separate sheets for clarity so that you could easily read the text and what's going on here. There's some minor things to be, some minor labels to be added for stop bars and some curb. I would point out that there is a tree in the island going over to the drain that's got to be removed. And that pipe goes through there because of the sanitary manhole that's just outside of the bullnose curb. That's the reason for that. The valley gutter, I would point out, in the road going across the intersection of the driveway with the boulevard is a 3-foot wide valley gutter, and that is, normally you would make it 2 feet wide, but because of the bump with the cars rolling in and out, we're widening it to 3 feet to soften that bump. The grade is very, very tight there. And because of the water meter, the box, and everything else, we could not move that inlet. We would have preferred to put it over at the corner of the radius. Because of the conflict with the utilities, we could not do that. So the way that inlet is placed in that valley gutter is to avoid having the car tires hit it when they're making either the turning movement or the straight through turn. Is why that's placed where it is. I don't know if anybody has any questions on this sheet, but by all means, email me.
You know, I think, just so that we're all on the same page, John and I had a conversation, who's going to remove the tree as you enter on the right-hand side. Mark's going to incorporate that into the proposal.
Yes.
Yeah. Please.
Yep. So moving on to sheet 5, the drainage at the golf cart crossing across the road. That's going to be 20 feet of a trench drain in that valley gutter, and then it's going to be piped down to the inlet. The grade was just too tight to relay that valley gutter, and to try have done that, we kicked it around, and we just felt that we would still have a ponding situation.
It's going across the road, right?
It's running longitudinally, but pipe will be under the valley gutter down the road to tie into that inlet down the road. It's 82 feet of pipe. And we're putting 3 cleanouts in that pipe so that if
Clean out.
for maintenance. And then last is the valley gutter on Bellhaven. It's replacing 58 feet of valley gutter. There's a high spot and a low spot that's creating that ponding situation in that valley gutter.
This is the Simonson project?
Yes.
Who's this one in, John?
And
Just about Phil's house.
Oh,
Yeah, this is.
That's right on the corner of
Phil's
Phil's
house.
house.
okay.
Southwest side of Bellhaven.
That's his house, right?
so then finally, as we discussed, we're incorporating the 34 valley gutter repairs. They're all 4 foot each at the locations. I believe I gave you a set of plans. And if anybody wants any of this electronically, these PDFs, once I put the whole set, I will take and send it all to Chuck, and he can distribute it accordingly.
Chuck can have it.
Do we have an ETA on this, or are we just still in the?
No, so let me, I'll get to that. I've been talking with Alex, he's already got the valley gutter plans. Probably within a week, he'll have this whole set, because we're going to incorporate, obviously, the cover sheet that details the valley gutter to make a complete set of plans. We're piggybacking off the unit prices, off of the existing asphalt and milling contract we had done, if you remember, in probably late spring, May-ish. We had done a change order to do the time extension, so we've got that covered. The contract's still open. And then it'll be whatever extras that aren't line items in the existing asphalt and milling, and the plan is to bring you back a proposal for the October meeting, and Alex has stated that he's put it into his schedule already for November construction. I was saying November, December, trying to keep everybody's expectations in check, but
Yeah, if they can start by November, that would be great.
the goal was definitely to have it before season really
Good.
kicked in, and I've had multiple conversations with him about this.
Yeah, there'll be some areas we'll have to, because if Drew's going to be starting if they're going to be starting within, a few weeks, maybe that area, we're just going to tell them, don't mess with, because you guys are going to be tearing that up, especially that corner of that
Yeah, have them
lot
start
right
yet.
here, in this section right here.
Yep.
Because that's supposed to be re-landscaped and all that, so we'll just leave that alone.
Yep.
And let you guys, until you guys come back.
Yeah, good idea, good point, thank you.
Because I think more of a nightmare would be if you guys had to be in there at the same time.
No,
You know what I mean? 'Cause that would be kinda-
that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
That never works out well for anybody.
Hey, Mark, on this first page, I guess it's sheet number 4.
Yes,
Where's the fire, the fire hydrant on there? I know it's somewhere right around the existing light pole, but
Yeah, so I think it's that box, yeah.
that right there.
Yeah, I think it's that box right there. Well, no, existing vault, it's the vault, backflow, it's actually right there.
See that little circle?
One of the things that I guess happens in the real world is a lot of these companies come up and they fill their trucks with water to fill a pool or, some kind of, but they're gonna have to park right there in order to do that. Is there any way that we can make that like a non-parking or doubling?
I think the current water truck was just for the construction of that, all that construction was going on there, doing all that road work, Cougar and them, right? We typically don't have people coming and grabbing our water. It's just been there for a while, for basically the length of that project. They got a meter on it, they got to meter it and pay for that water that they use. But that's not supposed to be there on a year-round basis, by no means.
They've just been using it.
And I can take it off, if you want, I can take it off, set it on the ground, I can put, I can get rid of it, it's not a problem. But that was just for the project. I don't know, that meter's still sitting there, but are they still working as Cougar? I've seen them doing some punch outs, some curb work.
I don't even know if they're still working there or not.
Yeah. But I mean, I can get rid of it and take it back to the shop, and if they want it, and come back and get it. Because those meters are numbered, they have to pay for the county, and so you can write it down and, do it.
So if you take the meter off, then they can't use that at all?
No,
Okay.
unless they bring another meter, which I'm sure they got plenty of.
It's just at a 4-way stop, it seems to cause.
Yeah, it shouldn't be there year-round, it's just for that project, and I don't think they've, haven't gotten it, or, you know what I mean? realized, forgotten about it or something, so.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that meter.
I think I have Joel as one of the contacts I can call, and I'll take it down to the shop and say I can get it.
All right.
Mark, have you heard anything more from the village about putting the third lane in?
I have not had any more conversation. At the last meeting, my understanding was we were going to run this solo.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing this solo because we have no concept what that's going to cost. So, okay, that was my only question.
I mean, I can have that conversation with Alex, just
Yeah,
kind of...
just ask if he's heard anything,
Okay.
or, price-wise of anything. I mean, that would be a big determining factor.
Okay.
Okay.
About that, as I was sitting there yesterday going, we're gonna fit 3 cars here?
I know, I don't know how to...
Like you and I.
Yeah, well, hey, hi. Would you like some water while we're sitting here at the light? Yeah,
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
still don't see it. but
I don't either.
whatever.
Okay, so I'm going to bring a proposal back from Alex for the next meeting.
Yes,
Okay?
okay,
And I will do my best to get it to you so it gets onto the agenda.
okay. And any information you have for us, just send it to Chuck and he'll send it out to all of us.
All right.
We'll make a small promise to try to bump you up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will put you, even though you're here, I'll make sure that we talk to you early.
That's fine. Just one last note that Chuck and I are working on closing out the landscape buffer project, closing out the final invoice, so that project's done.
Okay,
I've been working with John communicating with John on that, so we're all on the same page.
okay.
This is the Weymouth one, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
looks good. It looks
Yeah,
good.
it does. Thank you.
Okay?
Okay,
I
you're
don't know if you guys
free.
noticed, but out back, they're starting that
The school?
store, was it a storage facility they're doing?
Aldi.
Yeah.
Aldi.
Oh,
Aldi.
that's, well, I have that on my,
Yeah.
okay. Tony?
Yes, but I guess it's a combination, I guess, of Lisa and Andy and I were talking about Duffy's and the air conditioning issue, and having some communications and conversations about what the issue might be and what the remedial action is, and then who's to pay for it. So I don't know, Adam, if you want to...
Yeah, so I guess I got involved in this project maybe like a month ago, and it all started, I guess, prior to this, but we have a situation with the Duffy's building where there's condensation kind of dripping down from the ceiling, like air conditioning vents, and Lisa has pulled in a number of different contractors. I think the summary is we have what's considered to be a negative pressure in the building. So the building is, every time the doors, windows open, it sucks in the hot, humid air. It also sucks in the hot, humid air from the attic, and anytime it hits something cold, it condensates and drips. It's causing, moisture issues, and if gone unchecked, this is going to just get worse and worse and worse, to the tune of well over 6 figures. So we started with getting in a couple of different contractors. I guess when I got involved, and I think Lisa has done the same, the first people I brought in are from an air conditioning company. I just wanted to get somebody in who doesn't service our air conditioners to make sure that the air conditioners were working. We've got, 7 of them, I believe?
6.
Yeah, 6 of them, and they're all working fine, okay? They quickly identified, like I'm saying, within the first 5 to 10 minutes of being there, that there was a massive negative pressure zone in the kitchen area. So Lisa had reached out to eCalcs, the guy who runs the company, Eric Strobe, came out within the next few days and basically took our plans as well as like what equipment is there and determined we do have a negative pressure. Since then, we've had, I guess, Duffy's people who service the vent systems out to look at things, and they acknowledge that there is maybe some of the wrong size equipment on their vents. So we got the original manufacturer of that equipment, what is it,
Captive Air.
Captive Air out, and they've come up with a proposal that they think is going to fix 90% of it. So now we're in a position where we have spent $91,000 on this issue up to this point, and it looks like a lot of it may have been caused by incorrect fans installed in the kitchen system. So I don't know if that's a good way of kind of describing where we're at, but I think if we do that, we, get those fans appropriately sized, and then bring somebody in to do a test and balance and make sure that we are in positive pressure. In other words, when the doors open, cold air kind of leaks out a little bit, then we won't have such an issue on our hand.
Is that all that condensation companies at the table and stuff?
You got it. Yep. You got it. Yeah, but with condensation comes organic growth and other things, so the real question is, and Tony, I apologize, I attended our scheduled meeting at 1:30 yesterday, but the meeting was apparently at 1, so I sat in the waiting room for a while.
missed you.
I know.
We did. We kept saying, where's Adam?
And I guess I'll let Lisa kind of fill us in on, she's been at this for a long time. Really, the question is, what's in the lease? What can we do? How do we communicate back to the tenants the issue? And ultimately, who should be in control of, because like the pressure of their equipment is causing an issue on the golf pro shop side too. So it's like, I feel like we should have some measurement controls in place to make sure that the building is always under positive pressure. We should be kind of keeping a maintenance log of what the humidity is and what the pressure is and what the air conditioning temperature is, stuff like that. There are control mechanisms in place, but last week I went out and bought a fogging machine, went into Duffy's, set the fogging machine off, and immediately the fog just got sucked right into the kitchen. So it was me just trying to validate, everything that everyone's been telling me. I think that's the issue. That's the biggest issue. There may be smaller issues, but that is the big one for the building right now.
Yeah, if I may, I think, and Lisa Wright has been working on this for a long time.
Yep.
And living with it, we had a good call, but I would characterize it, maybe part of the discussion, Lisa, there's an immediate issue, and then maybe a long-term issue. Immediate is Duffy's received a letter from OSHA where somebody complained in the workplace about there being mold and other issues such as that in the Duffy's area. So Duffy's kindly forwarded that to us. And then Lisa also has obtained some quotes as to what I'll call it an immediate possible fix might be, without going into that aspect as to who's going to pay for it, and then whether or not there's a long-term solution. But there are some other issues also involving record keeping, record requests that Lisa made to Duffy's as required under the lease, which could also help point to the culprit from a mechanical standpoint. I don't know if I set the table for you nicely, Lisa, or not.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did discuss a few things as it pertains to the lease. They are required to provide us with contracts of who maintains their exhaust system, which is inclusive of this makeup air unit that is undersized. So I've asked, they don't seem to have, I've had an unsigned contract for a while, so I've asked for that, and they sent me invoices recently because they don't seem to have a contract with the guy. They just call him. And prior to 2021, we had talked about going back a little bit further to find out how this all kind of started. So I asked for those invoices from them, but I'm not sure that they'll produce them timely.
Usually the lease requires them to provide that.
Yeah, or a contract or whatever, any information they could provide us for, like from 2018 to 2022. I don't recall that this has been an ongoing, to this extent, issue in there prior to 2021, or prior to them having, prior to the pandemic, when all that happened. So, I don't know.
I don't believe it was an issue back before the pandemic, and I think maybe it was when the building was redone after
Ian?
After they had to redo shut it down and redo the whole thing.
I think so too. Something must have changed in there, possibly, that this unit may have been correctly sized and then something changed. But I don't have any proof of that. And then when Ian came, that thing did blow off, but they sent me, supposedly they sent me the sticker that was on the old unit and that they replaced like for like, basically. They had Thermal Concepts come in and replace that makeup air unit at the right size that it had been prior to Ian.
Okay.
But during the pandemic, maybe something changed.
But I guess this is just a clarification on that. My understanding is that the horsepower for the, it's called the SFMUA, if you can explain what those acronyms are. It's well, square footage and the makeup air unit. And there's supposed to be like a 3 horsepower motor, is that the idea? And there's a 1.5 horsepower motor? And that's what one of the consultants indicated could be the problem?
Yeah.
And so the question becomes, the sticker they showed you, was that for 1.5 horsepower unit or
Yes.
3 horsepower?
Yes, 1.5.
Okay.
And what was there before? 1.5?
Yes.
So it's been undersized for a long time, and part of this may
But
be
may
down
have been during the- after
to
the-
other factors like, we have had an extremely hot and humid summer, and this will be an issue, this
Down the road.
this sucking, when you have the biggest temperature differentials, and the most humidity.
But of course, we're looking at another month where we may not even know if it worked.
The other
But we
things
do.
that have happened to the building, there was a new roof put on 7 years ago. I mean, something may have happened with the ventilation in the roofing structure. I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of hypothesizing
Are
here,
there any
but
roof vents at all?
yeah, there are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are.
So if the weather becomes cooler, does that solve the problem?
It will.
I mean, temporarily.
Yep.
It will, yeah. So we've
Till
got
next
another
summer.
month of this, and then it's going to come back next summer.
Yep. We hope not, but that's why we are hoping, we got a good estimate to replace that fan motor or that fan for $2,500 plus labor, I think.